Galaxy Vlog. We're here with Tony Hauser, a Toronto photographer, originally from Germany. We're in a studio here on Front Street. The studio has been here roughly, is it 28 years now?
Something like that, yeah, 27, 28 years, yeah.
You do a lot of portraiture around the studio.
Yeah.
You specialise in portraiture, but also a very diverse photographer and very worldly travelled. And you just had a large exhibition with...
And I had an exhibition for Free the Children, do actually an awareness exhibition to raise funds for Free the Children, of pictures from Maasai people in Africa and Kenya.
And that was here?
That was here, and that was also in Montreal, and we are hoping to take it to New York.
Yes. Did you have an exhibition that was travelling other countries as well to do with amputees?
Yes, I have an exhibition of landmines injured children. Pikto is very much aware of that because they helped me quite a bit. I just came back from Spain, almost life-size portraits of injured children from Cambodia that I sort of encountered by accident, really. And the images have gone through universities in Canada. I traveled to practically all major universities. And I've been to England, it's been to Slovenia, it's been to Spain most recently, and it's about to go to Hong Kong.
Wow.
In fall.
That's great. Yes. Concentrating on portraiture, you photographed a lot of the great sort of actors and musicians, politicians.
Some politicians, they come and go too quickly.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But yeah, I have photographed a huge amount of actors and performers, and I'm actually working on a big show right now that will open at the NAC in Ottawa, in the NAC being the National Arts Centre, in September.
Oh, fantastic. And
it'll be portraits, still mostly, well, all analog pictures of shot with Polaroid film. The negative is 12 inches by 20 inches, and I bought this camera after having done my third and last workshop that was in San Francisco. And this guy there were 3 people in the workshop, and he made everybody use one of his view cameras, his banquet cameras. And I fell in love with this whole thing, and so I searched around and I eventually bought a banquet camera, which is called a banquet camera because they were actually used sort of 100 years ago for banquets. People would actually go, photographers would go and photograph at a wedding reception or something, or a banquet. All the people, they would run upstairs in the hotel, process the film, make contact prints, because that's all you can make with a 12 by 20 negative. And they would sell the prints afterwards. It's a great little gimmick. It doesn't quite work as quickly as so I took this camera to Nepal and carried it up the mountain with a tripod and all this nonsense, and 3 film holders, which means I could shoot 6 shots in one day before I had to find a guest house to darken for the night and change film. I had a different suitcase. I was very worried about how to travel with this thing and not get it destroyed. And so I had, once I had it unpacked in Nepal, I went, I had what's called a moose rack. Some outdoor store told me that the best thing to carry, they carry half a moose out of the bush with this when they kill a moose. And so I had the moose rack, and I put some foam together because I needed to carry it on my back, because otherwise it's impossible to carry this thing around, especially when you're going over mountains and uphill. And I have to admit, I had two Sherpas that came along with me, and I had this little thing that I didn't want them to carry the camera. So, because I thought, this is ridiculous for them to carry this camera. It's my silly idea to bring it here. And so we were going for a while in the riverbed, and then it got up, and we were already, I would say, about maybe 3,000 meters up high. So the air is pretty thin, and then it started going uphill, and like really uphill. I was walking slower than a snail. And these guys kept saying, "Tony, sir, I think we carry the camera."
Oh, okay.
And I said, "No," I said, "I can do it." And I was a bit younger then. I was probably only just 50 something. And they said, They said, and I would walk maybe another 100 meters, that might have taken 45 minutes, if you can imagine it. Like I was basically sort of going like this. Not moving, and it's going up and up. And finally these guys waited for me, and this, again, second time, Tony, I think we carry the camera.
Yeah.
And I said, okay.
Okay.
And so I gave it to them because I decided they were probably more worried about carrying me down the hill when I'm dead than carrying the camera. So it wasn't so bad for them, this piece of cake for them.
Yeah.
They were these little guys, they were amazing. Anyway, so this is the film holder that will go into the camera. Loaded with film right now, there is no film. This is a very old film holder, but it's been totally restored by a guy in California who is also crazy, who does this. Really an excellent woodworker. The springs on this are fairly tight, and they should be. You put your film in there. And then you close your lens. You know, once you've composed your picture, you make sure that the f-stop is right, and then you take the dark side out. And then it's very tight, actually. And then you make your exposure. Prints, like I say, this is the size of the print. You can see the lovely little notches from the film. You can actually, because I number the negative in the end to make a contract print, just because I might have two images of that. And I said to them, can I come back and take a picture of this room upstairs? That was my only idea. But the image was so strong in my head that I thought, it's so weird up there. And then I woke up that very night after I had seen the room for the first time with all these mannequins in there. Hans and Ingeborg, who are a real couple that I once met. Okay. And I thought, aha, Hans and Ingeborg, they must be in that place, or they must be from that place. Because they're both kind of dummies, I thought. Okay. So I wrote this little, it's almost like a storyboard. I got up and made the storyboard, and I was up till 7 in the morning, and I went to work, and I told my wife about it, and I came to work here, and my wife, I told the people who work with me that I'm doing this project, and later on my wife came in, and they said to her, isn't it exciting, Tony's doing this project? And Leah said, yeah, one of those.
So we're here today to look at your platinum printing.
A platinum print it's a wonderful image to have, actually, because it's one of the earliest types of photography when photography was invented. It is the most stable of all metals, because platinum is the most inert of all metals, more so even, well, similar as gold. It's unfortunately also the most expensive of all the metals. So it is, and it's a contact printing process, so it's a little bit, you know, laborious and time-consuming, and you kind of have to be a little bit crazy to do it. But there are a number of crazy people who do it, and so there's something endearing about that. Yeah. There's something that collectors actually really aspire to maybe have. Serious photography collectors would probably want to own a platinum print, or a few if they're very serious.
Yes. So very archival.
It's the most archival, as I mentioned, because it's because the platinum cannot change. The only thing that can change is the paper. I use archival papers, I use fiber-based papers, I use rag papers that are meant for more for watercolor and painting. So they are really really good papers. But then, you know, paper can change. But the image on itself will not really change, because even a silver print can tarnish, and you've seen silver prints maybe that are very old and start to get kind of on the edges, this hue of tarnishing happening. Like silver, it can tarnish. Platinum cannot.